Hey, it's Wednesday. Time for another Action Figure Adventures video here on SEO Toy Review. Baby Skeletor and I were at Toy Fair in New York City, and then I went to MagFest with a bunch of my friends, and it's been crazy. But the most exciting thing happened on my way back from MagFest. I stopped at Toys R Us, which I hadn't been into for a little while because I'd been so busy, and I found something that I've been looking for a while. So today, Baby Skeletor and I are taking a look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Legacy Thunder Megazord. Yes! So happy to have this thing. This came from the second season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, basically. This was the set of Zords they used after they ran out of Zord footage and shot extra footage with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stuff from Zoo Ranger. And they stole the footage from Die Ranger, the next series of the Japanese show. Here's a close-up of the Thunder Megazord's box. Great photo of the Megazord all combined. There's a little graphic showing off the Thunder Megazord in attack mode. The package also mentions metallic paint and die-cast parts. On the side over here, the box tells us that the 5 Thunder Zords can combine. The back of the package gives us more information explaining that the Red Dragon Thunder Zord, the Lion Thunder Zord, Firebird Thunder Zord, Unicorn Thunder Zord, and Griffon Thunder Zord can all combine to make the Thunder Megazord. It also shows that the Thunder Assault Team can be combined with the White Tiger Zord to form the Mega Tiger Zord. Let's get ready to take this thing out of the package. Straight out of the package, and I'm already impressed. Bandai knocks it out of the ballpark again. These figures in the Legacy Collection, these Zords, are amazing. Super detailed, super nice, no stickers. I mean, just really, really clean paint apps, and great articulation. And I'm just going to get into it, start talking about the Zords independently and individually, and then transforming it, and just showing off all the cool stuff that the Thunder Megazord can do. We'll start by looking at the Thunder Lion Zord. He's a really big, solid figure here. You can see the cool face on the front. He's got some great gold and green paint, along with the black. If you're familiar with the transformation, you'll see the Megazord's shoulders, chest pad, and helmet actually make up the Lion Zord. No real articulation. I mean, you can tilt the head a little bit on the Lion Zord, but the feet don't really do anything articulation-wise with this Zord. But I felt like the Thunder Megazord in the show in general was less animated and articulated than the Megazord from the series before. Next up, I'm taking a look at the Thunder Griffon Zord and Thunder Unicorn Zord at the same time, because they're pretty interchangeable. They're very much the same thing. You'll notice that you can articulate the neck a little bit, you can articulate the head, and that's probably about it for these guys. They were definitely not as exciting as the Triceratops and Saber-Tooth Tiger from the original series, but they did make good feet after all. As independent Zords, these guys weren't so much fun. They just kind of shuffle around. There's no real feet moving. They don't even have wheels on the bottom, so they can't even roll like the Triceratops did. In the show, they just sort of traveled. I don't know whether they hovered or rolled or what. They didn't really show their form of locomotion, but the detail on these guys is just incredible. I mean, I'm really impressed with the paintwork on these emblems on the front of them. They look great. Next up is the Firebird. Now, this is very much on par with the Pterodactyl, I always thought. Both Zords had the articulated wings, the articulated neck, and just kind of a cool overall design. I think this one is really nicely articulated and detailed there, with the tips of the wings being able to move. This bottom piece isn't really part of the Zord, it's part of an attachment to the assault base, but I just stuck it on here because it kind of helps it stand up a little bit more. But another great Zord. This one's very light, less die-cast on this one than some of the other Zords. Of course, the most exciting Zord, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord here, comes in 2 modes. He can be a warrior mode like this, or he can be transformed into the dragon. I thought the dragon was really cool as a kid, and we didn't even get to see all the really cool footage of the dragon. In the Japanese show, there's even more stuff with the dragon breathing fire and flying around with the Power Rangers riding on top. It's really cool stuff. But this figure is nicely articulated, including fingers articulation here. His head can turn. You can really pose him around to capture the fight scenes and action of the TV show. He also comes with his staff that he would use like a propeller sometimes, spin it around above his head. He does not have articulation at the wrist there, so you can't like spin that the way he does in the show. That's an articulation point that had to suffer at the cost of transformability here. So let's get ready to turn this guy into the dragon and see what that looks like. Here's all the Zords together in their animal modes. This red Dragon Zord is really incredible. He's really nicely articulated in this mode with the head and the neck being able to move around. The other Zords all fit together great to make the Megazord. I'm really pleased with this set. Bandai keeps knocking them out of the ballpark with the Legacy Collection. I got to see the Falcon Zord up close and personal at Toy Fair, and I can't wait for that one to add to this Legacy Collection. Here's the Thunder Megazord in Assault mode. When all put together, the Thunder Megazord is really incredible. The one slight complaint I might have in this mode, and it's pretty minor, but it would be really cool if there was a way of making the eyes light up or show up on that visor there, like it does when it uses the Power Sword in the show. But speaking of that Power Sword, this thing is incredible. Look at how reflective it is. It's awesome. Super shiny. Holds it in his hand pretty nicely. Looks great. And then, of course, you can put it in the sheath. I'm so glad he comes with that working sheath. I feel like that's such an important detail for this figure, considering the fact that he put the sword back in the sheath at the end of every fight. I've had no balance issues with him. He went together pretty well once I figured out the sequence of, the way the parts went together. The helmet and everything looks really nice. I love that he can turn his head. He's got some elbow articulation there, shoulder articulation, articulated hands. He's got some movement at his hips there. I mean, really cool. Plus this awesome chain attached to the sword. I'm just super pleased with this guy. He blows away the 90s figure that I remember playing with as a child. Here you can see the Thunder Megazord combined with the White Tiger Zord. This thing is pretty amazing. It is kind of unusual that you have to take some parts off of both the Tiger Zord and the Thunder Megazord to make them connect, to use the Zord Builder ports. So be a little careful with that. I don't really think it's going to break, but it does feel a little tight, as you're pulling that out. Obviously, these two Zords are very disproportionate to each other. In the show, both costumes were worn by a normal-sized guy, making them both the same height. And the Ultra Megazord over here is huge compared to the Red Zord, compared to the Red Dragon Zord. The other thing that I feel is a little bit out of size is the Firebird on the wrist here looks really big because it has to work as the waist for the other mode, and here on the wrist it looks really oversized as opposed to when it fits on the wrist in the show and gets launched off as an awesome projectile. One of my favorite Power Ranger Megazord attacks, actually, is when it launches that Firebird. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.